All right, thank you so much, Sam, for being on this section. Embrace Innovation at Large is glad to have you. So this afternoon, we'll be discussing on leverage, maximizing opportunity and strategies for career and business owner. And I know that you're into the real estate field. He also is into the real estate field. And so I have some questions to ask so that our attendees can learn from your success story. So over to you, Mr. Emordi. So you transition to agribusiness from real estate. So how are you able to leverage this system? How are you able to leverage maybe your personal or professional experience that played a significant role, and how are you being able to manage the dual role?
First and foremost, thank you for the question. I want to say thank you to Embrace Innovation for having me this morning. I do not make light of it at all. First and foremost, there's agriculture and real estate are one. There's actually not so much transition from the two, because real estate basically had to do with land, everything within, on top and under it. And agriculture is basically on top of land. So they're all part of real estate. But the truth, one of the driving forces that actually moved me to diversify to agriculture is because I found a problem in our agricultural sector, most especially in the rice production. Nigeria is importing so much, spending trillions of naira in the importation of rice. And despite those importations, we are still not able to satisfy our market. So that actually caught my attention into agric and basically the rice production. So my transition into it was actually seamless, because already I've been in the real estate sector. So acquisition of land, due diligence and all that is something I know how best to do. But where I basically had challenge was in the farming process. Although I've not been involved in agric, but what I had to do was I had to leverage. I'm sorry I had to use that word now, but I had to leverage on an expert. I had to get a doctor in agriculture to actually partner with me in the project. She's actually my project manager as we speak. She's at the farm. She lectures in Ebonyi State. So it was at the point of discussion with a friend, I want to go into agric, this, but I don't have knowledge of agric. I have a friend who's a medical doctor, who's a doctor in agric. Fortunately, the person is in Ebonyi, where I intended to establish the farm. So it was just her and her knowledge was what I leveraged on. What I did was to get the land acquisition, get the papers title documents with the community, and the whole process and everything was done by her. I had to leverage on her knowledge. And presently, I'm still learning from her. So we are partnering in the rice production.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. So how are you able to manage this dual role?
Actually, managing the dual role is something that is seamless. I learned I learned very fast. My real estate sector, with or without me, can function, because I have capable hands who have been entrusted with responsibilities, and they are doing it perfectly well. And likewise, the rice farm. I got persons who are involved. I visited the rice farm 3 months ago, and it's been functional. There have not been issues. They've been doing what they ought to do. So what I did was put structures in place that at a glance I can get reports and get updates, and that's what I did.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir, for that information. Then over to you, Mrs. Arinola. So how important is the concept of leverage in today's rapidly changing landscape? And what is that one thing that you've consistently do or engage that has given you growth and results?
All right. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you, Embrace Innovations, for the honor to be part of this great conference. Keep up the good work. All right. So, based on your question, how important is the essence of leveraging in today's world to help our business grow? You see, I as an individual, I leverage on so many things as an individual to grow. And one of the things I leveraged on was my mistakes. this might sound funny to everyone, but from my mistakes, I was able to learn a lot on the things to do and the things I shouldn't do. So because I know that learning, it's a continuous process, right? And then learning is ongoing. So I have leveraged on my mistakes to become a better person. So in today's world, we need to leverage on the things we have to grow. If we have a very good, for example, if we have a very good relationship with a bank as a business owner, we are sure to get loan from them to boost the growth of our company instead of just crawling or making it stagnant. So with the relationship with a bank, we can grow, right? Another thing we need to leverage on as business owners is technology, because we need to know that the world is going digital now. You cannot maintain the traditional way of doing things. You need to explore technologies. You need to know that if you want to grow as a company, you need to be updated with market trends. That's what will help us grow as a company. And as well, data analysis is very, very important. So basically, it's important to leverage on what we have to move to that next level in terms of relationship, our network, what we have that would make us as individual and as company become better. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. So she said leverage is a crucial factor that everyone who is seeking to make impact should actually go for. So that is why this conference has been set up. So this is a conference for you to network and meet people. While you leverage on people's knowledge, you should also leverage on technology. Like she said technology is one of the things she leveraged on, and also the financial sector. Okay, so sir, Mr. Emordi, I'm going to be asking you this question. How can individual balance the benefits of leveraging with the potential drawback to ensure sustainable growth and progress?
Okay, if I may understand your question very well, how can individuals use leverage to grow consistently? As a young man growing up, in my secondary school days, I came across an anonymous statement on internet, and that word has kept me going. And what is this statement? It says the world is an open laboratory where you are free to observe people's life without their consent. That is leverage. You observe people, what they do, where they succeeded and where they failed, and you take precautions so that such things do not happen to you. So as a young person or as a young entrepreneur growing up, leverage is one thing you need not to joke with. There is nowhere you are going to in life that nobody has gotten there. So it is your duty as a young person or an aspiring young entrepreneur to understudy people who have gone ahead of you. I also share an example. In 2021, when I came for School of Estates, that was when I met my friend and brother Femi Oshofowora. And before we left the school, it was a 2-week program. I went to his office. And we went as a group. We had some discussions, and that was one of the things that triggered me to the level I am today. He has a structure that anyone that actually wants to grow a real estate company need to have. So immediately I got there, I picked up his structure at once. That is leverage. I picked up his structure at once. I got back to my base. I had to start implementing it. And that structure is what is actually helping us to strike a balance between our real estate and our agricultural sector. So leverage is climbing on the shoulders of people who have gone ahead of you. Whatever mistakes, there is no business you want to do that somebody has not done. All you need to do is to sit down, find out who have done that business. What are their failures? What are their successes? And when you've understudied those things, you start, when you leverage, let me use this one. When you leverage, you live a life as if the devil does not exist. Because why? You already know this is a mistake that is going to come if you do this in this business. All you simply need to do is to avoid it. this is what I need to do to make success in this business. All you simply need to do is to put it in place. So there is no young entrepreneur that can go far without leverage. Anyone you see flying high in business is flying on the shoulders of people that have gone ahead of them. So if you want to grow as a young entrepreneur, leverage is a key point for you in business.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. And I'm sure the attendees are getting value. I'm sure you're getting value. Okay, so over to you, Mrs. Atunnise. Okay, so how can you share your challenging situation with us where you have a problem in any of your real estate transaction and you have to leverage, and how were you able to resolve it? Can you share any experience you have, any challenging situation in your real estate transaction, and how were you able to resolve it through leverage or whatever means you're using?
All right, thank you. You said I should share my experience in the real estate industry, the challenges I had, yes, and how I was able to leverage, yes, to overcome it. Yeah. All right. Thank you for that. Like I rightly said, I said before I share my challenges, I'm going to say the things I have leveraged on that has helped me till date. Which one of it is my mistakes. Like I said, learning from my mistakes has really helped the company to grow, has helped me personally, and has also helped the company in large. So I've also leveraged on the network of people I know. I leverage on my community, right? And I also leverage on my foresight. I leverage on my foresight because most of the time I see things in a business-minded way. So I see things that would be of benefit to my clients and my company. So once I see an opportunity, I do not let it go by me. I just strike. I don't let the opportunities go by me. So with all this knowledge that I have, I already understand the concept of leveraging. So when challenges come, I know what to do, which is what I'm going to share with us now. At the point in my real estate journey, we acquired some massive parcel of land in Ekpe, and we had this hormonal issues and all of that. It's been one thing or the other. The goats there today, this land is for someone else, it's for another family member. The issues of hormonal. And knowing fully well that, based on my experience in the industry, we already understand that there is need to do due diligence. I mean, the mistakes people have made in the past, people that we are leveraging on, that they've shared their experiences, there's no need. We shouldn't make same mistakes again. Like Mr. Chidi said, the whole essence of being in the business is to look at people that have done it before you, right? And then that, okay, what are the things they've done wrong? So when we had challenges in Ekpe and all of that, and thankfully I reached out to my mentor, right? That is the power of relationship. That's why for me, relationship is very key. I would rather lose money than lose relationship. I mean, I don't joke with relationships. What has helped us business grow till date is leveraging on relationship. We work based on referrals. So we are just trying to explore the online space. And the only reason why we are where we are today is because of relationships. So we leverage that relationship. So the challenges we had in Ekpe, it was back and forth. The other party, the other company, they came and then they also wanted to fence round, and then, it was back and forth. But thankfully, we overcame the challenge. I spoke with my mentor about it. We met with KBAC, and thankfully, we were able to resolve it. Right. So that's one challenge I had because, as a business owner, it's not easy. When you sell for people and you want to start your own, and you're now realizing that, okay, with all my experience in the industry, why am I still having this kind of challenge based on my experience, right? But what really helped us is my experience, my skill, which was what I built on. Yorubas will say that, when we understand, when we build on something, we'll be able to leverage on it. What can never disappoint you. So it was based on my knowledge, my skill, my experience, the relationship I've built that helped us to overcome the land challenge. Another challenge we
Internationally, as an excellent marketing
so it was based on my experience, the skill I built, the people, the network of people I have that were able to overcome the challenges and were able to resolve it. And that's why we are where we are today. Thank God for that.
Thank you very much, Ma. It's a round of applause for her. Like you've stated and Mr. Chris have stated, so there's no one that wants to venture into any business whatsoever without relying on leverage, because it is very key. He said you leverage on skills, you leverage on knowledge, you leverage on mistake and relationship, which you said it's very key, especially for a business person. So you said you prefer or you prioritize relationship over money. So in the real estate space, that is one thing you want to take note of: relationship over money. Thank you very much, Ma. So I'll be asking Mr. Emordi this question. So what advice will you give to aspiring entrepreneurs looking to make a mark in the industry, both real estate and the agricultural business?
Okay. My advice to entrepreneurs or young persons going into the business world is that they should leverage on information, relationship. These are basics in running a business. If you must go far, you must know more, because your earning level is largely proportional to your knowledge level. So every young person that wants to go into any business you want to go into, there are persons who have gone ahead of you in that business. Get to meet with them, learn from them, then also maintain a relationship of mentorship with them. Our business, practically, I have well over 5 persons who are mentors to our business, that at every point in time I meet them, there is always an advancement to the next phase of our business. Why? So you need leverage. You need to leverage on information, and you need to leverage on relationship.
Leverage
if you want to
is
go
a
far
cornerstone.
in
It's
business.
about tapping into relationships.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Chris. He said, as a business person, if you want to go far, you have to leverage on relationship. And he said, if you must go far, you must have knowledge. So you can't be a voice in that industry you want to go to without knowledge of that industry. Thank you very much, sir. And lastly, for Mrs. Atunnise, what advice will you have for aspiring real estate consultants who are seeking to succeed in the industry?
All right, thank you. So my advice is this. I'm just going to leave with this, which is the law of the compounding effect, right? And as we all know, the law states that what we do, the little actions we take over time gives value. So for entrepreneurs that are just looking to start the business, I'll tell them to just start with whatever they have. Don't wait to have it all. Start with what you have. Start, be consistent, and go and win. Just start. Whatever you have to start with, just start, be consistent, and go and win. And you can leverage on so many things, like we earlier said. You can leverage on mistakes from people in the industry. You can leverage on knowledge. You can leverage on relationships. You can leverage on your foresight. You can also leverage on your informed decision, which is what I do. I make an informed decision. I analyze the whole situation, and I just take action. So just start with what you have, be consistent, and go and win. And then you realize that the sky will just be your starting point. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chris and Mr. Atunnise. Please, can we have a round of applause for them? Can we keep doing it? Keep doing it as we've come to the end of this section.